I don't know. I'm technology illiterate. I'm new to this. This is my first day. I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, no.
It's LeahMouseVlog, LeahMouseVlog, it's LeahMouse's vlog.
Hey guys, welcome back to the sanctuary of all sanctuaries, i.e. my bedroom. God, I just love having this desk and sitting at it and the chair. It's just so comfortable. I just got out of the shower, so my hair is kind of it's up on a little clippy guy, just kind of drying and, you know, just hanging out. So, okay, holy crap. By the way, hi, how are you today? And happy leap year day, by the way. Super random. I'm sorry, I'm still a little frazzled. Okay, so get you guys up to speed here, as I always do, because I love to share my intimate personal details of my life with you for some reason. But isn't that kind of the point of being a vlogger? I guess. I don't know. Well, that's what I'm doing. So unfortunately, I spilled coffee on my desk. That's not what I was going to say, but it happened. So unfortunately, I recently had to leave my job as a housekeeper at the hotel. Yes, this will be for the second time if you're keeping track. The first time was because I wasn't making enough money at the time and I had to find better opportunities, which turned out to be worse opportunities, mentally speaking. I told you guys the whole story about the altercation with the other employee who accused me of being a racist because I wanted him to work at a certain cash register till. Totally sound argument there. Lots of logic behind that one. Anyway, and if you missed that video, I recommend checking it out. And I'm comfortable saying now that it was the Big Blue hardware store where that occurred. So yeah. So anyway, this time I had to leave the hotel, and this was recent and actually kind of unexpected. I did not plan this. I didn't foresee it. It just kind of happened. And this had nothing to do with anyone there or the job itself or the place where I worked, because honestly, it kind of broke my heart to leave that place, because it was like the first and only place I've ever worked that I actually felt good about going to work. Like, I loved the environment, I love the atmosphere, I love the people that I worked with, I love the people I worked for, and I love the job. Like, it suited me. And so it was actually kind of a really hard decision to make, but my brain and my body have been battling it out for a long time over, should I be housekeeping? My brain has won thus far every single time I have this battle with myself, because it's a really good job for my own personal mental health, because I really like working on my own at my own pace. I have my own routine. I have my own system. I have my own rhythm, and cleaning hotel rooms just sort of fits that to a T. It's like, it's quiet. You don't have to deal with anybody. I listen to my little Inner Sanctum 1940s radio horror broadcast thing on my earbuds while I'm working, and I can just sort of, you know, zone out and zen out and just do the thing that I love to do most, which is making order out of disorder. I really genuinely like the job. Vomit murals in the bathroom aside, I won't miss those. I'll tell you that right now. I won't miss those. And then my coworkers were awesome. You know, my boss was super awesome. My boss is the best boss I've ever had in my whole life. And I did tell her that upon my exit. And it was a good place. It was a good place to work. And so that's why my brain always won the fight against my body, because I'm like, this is an awesome job. You are good at it. You're very good at it. It's a good place. It's flexible. Like, you know, I clean my rooms, I'm done. You know, like, that's it. There's no like, well, you have to hang around for 8 hours even if there's nothing to do. And if there's nothing to do, then find something to do. If you got time to lean, you got time to clean. I just don't like that. I don't like it. So I quit yesterday, and I did kind of intend on giving a notice, but my boss, like I said, she's fantastic, and she understood where I was coming from. She kind of took the initiative and gave me the opportunity for me, like, you know, is today going to be your last day? And I was like, I feel bad doing it that way. I'm not, you know, I'll quit on the spot a job that absolutely sucks or is toxic or something, which I've done many times in the past, including the Big Blue hardware store. And I have no qualms about doing that, because I'm like, I can't spend another minute here. You guys don't deserve a notice, like, you suck, you know. But here, I like and respect these people so much, and I told her that. But the way it happened was, I worked over the weekend. I was scheduled Saturday and Sunday, which is what I've always scheduled, Saturday and Sunday. So I worked on Saturday, and I was cleaning a tub in the bathroom, and then I have to do the floor. So somewhere between the tub and the floor, I moved weird, as per just something that happens because my back is terrible. If you haven't seen the video of me talking about that, that'll get you up to speed pretty quick. But I've got scoliosis, pars defect, anstylolisthesis, spondylolisthesis, a bunch of fancy words that mean my back is terrible. And I have an extra vertebrae. I have an L6. If you know anything about the spine, you know that an L6 is not supposed to be there. So I have all kinds of stuff going on, and it causes me a lot of pain and a lot of difficulties moving and doing certain movements and motions and things. So housekeeping, that's the downside, because making beds, stooping, bending to put the door stop under the door and then retrieving it again, just that alone sucks. And then you factor in like cleaning the entire room and doing it over and over and over, and like pushing the cart down the hallway. I have to like bend slightly to do that. Stocking the cart, like bending down to put the things down there, bending down to pick them up, you know. So all of that, not a good time for my back. It was pretty bad. So I did go to see my doctor about it. I don't remember when it was. It was a couple months ago, a few months ago, I don't know. And he did write me a restriction note for work. And I thought that would be sufficient. I'm like, okay, if we can restrict me down to a certain number of rooms, maybe that will be okay. Because I was, you know, we were busy, so I was doing 17 rooms, 19 rooms, you know, and then if you put 2 beds in each of those rooms, do the math. That's a lot of bed making and a lot of ouchie ouch for the mousy mouse. So I was like, okay, if we restrict me down to no more than 12 rooms, maybe that'll be all right. Maybe I can survive that. So that's what we did. They were super on board with it. They were super okay with it at work, and it was great. Turns out that wasn't so great, because on Saturday, like I said, I twisted weird, which is something that happens frequently, but this time was particularly nasty, and it got all the way up my lower back on my left side, all the way up. My shoulder got weird. My collarbone felt like it was dislocated, which again happens sometimes, and my neck. So I was just kind of like Quasimodo after that. I was like, oh God, oh God, oh God. But I did finish my rooms. Luckily, I only had a couple left, and I made an appointment with my chiropractor Monday because they're not there on the weekend, so I kind of had to wait. But in the meantime, I couldn't go in on Sunday because of that, because I was, again, like Quasimodo. I'm like, there's no way I can do rooms. There's no way. So I called in, I told them what was going on. They said, you know, we need a note. And I'm like, that's fine. You know, I'm going to make an appointment with my chiropractor. And then we had that giant blizzard on Tuesday, or Monday night rather, through Tuesday. So it was supposed to be on Tuesday, my appointment. And then we canceled because of the weather. And then we rescheduled for Wednesday, which was yesterday. I did have to work on Wednesday. And I went in, obviously, did my rooms, and then went to my chiropractor appointment. The way it went down was basically, it was a new chiropractor because my old one stopped taking my insurance. So I had to find a new one, and I knew about this guy because JJ went there, and I was impressed. I'm like, this is a good chiropractor. And I know, I've been to many of them. So I went there, and I was happy with the way that he went about everything. And I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. I think I'd be comfortable here. But he did agree that it probably wasn't the best job for me to be doing because of my multiple conditions, and it does cause me pain, and it causes things like this to happen, and just all things considered. So for the first time in my entire life, my body won the argument with my brain. I was like, you know what? Okay, I don't want to quit. I don't want to leave. But I really should, you know. So my conscience isn't really happy about it. But I know that my body, I mean, I'm not getting any younger either. I'm going to be 40 in just a couple of months here. I said it out loud. So I went back to the hotel after my chiropractor appointment because I figured this was a face-to-face thing to discuss with my boss. It's not a text message thing, you know. And I respect her and I like her. So I went back and tracked her down, and I was like, okay, I did get the note. even though it wouldn't have been relevant because I knew I was quitting. But still, I still got the note because that's who I am. And I kind of told her everything, you know, and she knows about my condition, and she even agreed. She was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't be doing this job. Like, you know, I feel bad, you know, every time you do rooms, and I'm just like, yeah, I know. I told her that I think I just can't do it anymore, you know, and I just shouldn't. It's not something I should put my body through. She agreed, and she was like, yeah, don't feel bad. She's like, don't feel bad about this because you're doing, you know, what you need to do. And I was like, yeah. So she asked me, because I felt bad because I was scheduled for today, which is Thursday, and I was scheduled over the weekend too, and I know it's going to be a really busy weekend. I was going to be willing, again, this was brain, not body talking, I was going to be willing to work out that at least, if not do the 2 weeks, because I didn't want to leave them in the lurch. But she did say, do you want today to be your last day? And I was like... Like, honestly, yes. I just can't do it anymore. You know, it's very taxing on my body. It's a tough job. It's a really tough job. Anybody who has done housekeeping, you know, it's a tough job. Especially if you have physical problems. It's just like, I went ahead and I took it. And I was like, yeah, okay. So this morning I woke up and did not have a job to go to, which I have mixed feelings about. It was kind of nice being able to just wake up at my own pace and decide what I want to do for the day. Like, I do have candle stuff to do, but like, that's kind of a nighttime thing. That's what I do at night. I don't know why I like to do that at night. That's a nighttime thing. So I do have candle stuff to do, which I'll be doing tonight. But during the day, it's a little bit of a different vibe. Like, do I sit here and relax and have a cup of coffee and make myself breakfast and watch Judge Judy? You know, or do I go run errands? Like, do I just go back to bed, you know, like some kind of lazy person? I didn't go back to bed. What I did do, I'd actually signed up to drive for Uber Eats quite a while ago. I would say probably about a month ago, and I just hadn't done it yet because I didn't have the time between working at the hotel and doing candle stuff and everything. The point of signing up for Uber Eats delivery, I don't want to be the ride sharing person. That makes me nervous. Human contact. However, fun story coming up here. The reason I signed up for it was because as an Uber Eats customer, the probably way too frequent Uber Eats customer, I would get frustrated, not necessarily with the drivers, but like with the app, like not enough drivers, finding you a driver, and it takes so long, you know, and I'm just like, you know, and then they don't read the instructions. So, okay, I do get upset with the drivers sometimes. They don't read the instructions. I always put don't ring the doorbell and don't knock. Just leave it at the door and leave, you know.
Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
You know, because we have Scrappy. Okay, so if it's during the day, I don't want them ringing the bell and knocking on the door and waking JJ up. And if it's during the nighttime, if the doorbell rings and the knocking happens, Scrappy will go nuts and start barking and run towards the door, and then I have to like deal with all that, and it's very unnerving. So it's just like a lot of people don't know how to read, and they end up ringing the bell or knocking, and I get really annoyed when they don't read simple instructions, right? So I was just like, what is the phrase? If you want something done right, do it yourself. Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I was like, you know, there's not a lot of drivers in the morning time. And by morning time, I mean like 6 in the morning when I want my McDonald's breakfast and it takes a half an hour to find me a driver. And I could have just gone and get it myself, but I'm in my pajamas. It's cold outside. That's the point of Uber Eats. The convenience of you bring it to me so I don't have to leave. So I was like, well, maybe I could be that driver. You know, some people earn extra cash doing that. Like, I'll just do it when I have nothing else to do. But that's why I hadn't gotten to it yet, because I did have other things to do. So this morning when I woke up jobless, I thought, maybe it's time. Let's try it. And I'm kind of nervous about it too. Like, I was kind of nervous because I'm like, well, where do I go to pick up the food? Like, how do I ask for it? You know, how do, like, I didn't know how to use the app. Like, anxiety, you know, you guys understand. New thing, breaks down into details that you need to know, right? And I'm not good with navigating. So I was like, the GPS better be like on point routing me to these places, right? I was feeling brave this morning. I'm like, okay, let's go. So it was about 9 o'clock and I logged onto the thing and accepted my first order. And I was just like, goose fraba. And it wasn't all that bad. It actually wasn't. The app tells you exactly how the restaurant wants you to pick it up. If they say, please come inside to the counter, or please come inside and go to the delivery kiosk or whatever, or it'll say, do not use the drive-thru. Like, it's actually very specific. It's almost like the creator of Uber Eats was autistic or something. But anyway, it's really specific, which I appreciated. So it wasn't difficult at all. It routed me directly to the restaurant, which was good because the restaurant in question I'd actually never been to before. I thought I knew where every restaurant was in Grand Forks. I was wrong. So it was really specific and really good, and I was able to pick it up and no issues. And then once you pick it up, you just like hit this little confirm, thing. And then it will switch and route you to the customer, like very specific, very specific. It's not like the maps GPS directions thing. It's actually like somehow it's way more specific than that. And it gives me good peace of mind. So I took my first delivery and I was just like, okay, this isn't bad. So I accepted another one. And I did 4 of them. And I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad. And it was so funny because my final delivery ended up being a literal block from our house. So I was like, okay, this is a good place to stop. I'll just go boop and be home. Perfect. And I was about to log out of the app when this little thing popped up, and I don't remember exactly what it said, but it gave the implication, it gave the implication that you can earn more money with this, and it said turn on UberX. And I was like, ooh, I thought it was like, I don't know. I'm technology illiterate. I'm new to this. This is my first day. I didn't know what was going on. So I thought it was just like a booster or something. I didn't know. So I did it. And then it was like, oh, there's a thing 2 minutes away. It's like 2 minutes away. I was like, okay, what's one more, right? So I hit accept. And then it pops up and it's just like, pick up Amelia. And I was like, no. The one thing I said was I'm never going to participate in the ride sharing part. I will deliver food only. I don't want people in my vehicle. And here I had accidentally accepted the ride sharing portion of Uber. And I was like, no, God. I was like, well, at least it's a female's name. So, I mean, not to discriminate, but, small woman, scary man. I know it's stupid. We shouldn't have to worry about stuff like that. And I know that it's not common, especially in broad daylight, but you never know, right? And I didn't have a dash cam, I didn't have anything. I was not prepared for this. Luckily, my car's clean. So I was like, okay, I guess we're going to go pick up Amelia. So I followed the directions and went and picked up. It was a lady and her friend. I assume it was a friend. And I was like fiddling with the app, trying to figure out how to make it work because it was different than a delivery thing. Like you had to like swipe this little thing and give a pin that they gave you. And oh my God, I was just so frazzled. I was so frazzled because I wasn't expecting it. And I just did not want to do that. I didn't know if there was a way to cancel it. I couldn't figure it out that fast. I was like, oh God. So when they got in, I was just like, all right, how you doing today? And I was like, all right, where are we headed? And they said, we're just going to Target. I'm like, oh, Target. Thank God. I know where Target is. I don't even have to look at the phone map. So I drove them to Target and dropped them off, which wasn't bad. And I ended up like, you know what? That actually wasn't so bad. Let's do another one. So I made myself available again for the thing. And then it said, the nice thing about the app is it gives you options based on the proximity of where you are. So if you're in a certain location and there's a rider or delivery near that location, that's what it sends you. It doesn't send you out to BFE if you're already like over here, so that was nice. So I accepted another one and it was this gal going to Texas Roadhouse. I'm like, okay, this is like super easy. I'm like, this is actually way easier than the food thing. So I accepted one more. And it was a young guy. I picked him up at the bank. He was a talker. The ladies were like silent, which I appreciated. But this kid, this boy, he was a talker, which was fine. It was fine. It was kind of nice having a little bit of a conversation with somebody instead of just like sitting there in awkward silence, But he was really into motorcycles. So we talked about motorcycles because I do know a thing or two about motorcycles, which is nice. So that was kind of neat. And at the end of the day, I drove from between 9 a.m. and I stopped at noon. And I mean, I made $41, which isn't bad, for 4 deliveries and 3 rides. And I think I only went like 50 miles total. I mean, That's not bad, right? That's really not bad. I could have kept going, but I was hungry and I was a little bit frazzled from the whole anxiety of, oh crap, I accidentally accepted a ride thing and then like proceeded to do it. And then that guy having a conversation with me, while it was pleasant, it was a little overstimulating and I was just kind of like buzzy. I'm like, I'm gonna go home. I gotta go home. I gotta eat and sit down and just chill, right? And take a shower. I think in the future, I can do that a little bit more now that I'm used to it and I understand how it works and everything. And it's actually not as intimidating as I thought it would be. So if it's something that you all were thinking about, it's actually not that bad. It's easy. It's actually easy. And I know that's it's like, oh, well, yeah, easy for you to say. Yeah, no, dude, I was nervous as crap to start this, believe me, but it actually is pretty straightforward and it walks you through everything. Like, you don't really have to stress about too much. I mean, it's not bad. So if any of y'all were considering that for some extra cash, I mean, Uber Eats or DoorDash or Food Dudes or whatever the heck other stuff there is, I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. Trust me. The one thing I always said, I was like, I'll never be a delivery driver ever. Way, way too stressful. But you know what? With this, it's so easy. It's so easy because you can choose to accept things or not. It's up to you. You know, you're not like bound by the rules of you're on the clock and you have to take every single thing. Like, you can accept whatever you want, decline whatever you want. It takes you directly there, like to the spot. It's so easy. So now, having been on the other side of things, I am extra baffled as to how these people can never find my house. I don't live in an obscure location. It's right here. So I'm not sure. I'm scrutinizing them a little bit harder now, having seen, because it was easier to give them the benefit of the doubt before, like, oh, maybe the app isn't specific enough, or maybe this, maybe that. No, it's ridiculously specific. And it does show you all of what the customer says, like point for point. Like, somebody was like, oh, I am on the 3rd floor at this apartment. I have this colored mat in front of my door. Please knock loudly so I can hear you. I saw all of that and I can read. So how these people ignore my don't knock or ring the bell instructions or specific descriptions of my front porch for them to find. But anyway, like I said, if you want something done right, do it yourself. And that's what I'm doing now. So that's how I'm supplementing the loss of the hotel job. I appreciate everybody who's been ordering candles and scrubs and butters and stuff and doing the subscription boxes. That's really, really helping float me like quite a bit. And I'm having a lot of fun doing the subscription boxes. So I hope it continues and I hope everybody keeps on sticking with it. And I hope I get more people in because good ideas and it's a lot of fun. And that's the best part is now, between YouTube and candles and driving for Uber Eats, I am now 100% my own boss. So I can 100% decide on my own schedule. So there won't be any more like, oh, it was a crazy week at the hotel and I was super burnt out, so I couldn't get to candle orders this week. No more of that. I can stay on top of everything. And it's awesome. So if you haven't checked out the subscription boxes yet, I can't say subscription boxes without sounding like Elmer Fudd. I don't know what that is. If you haven't checked out the subscription boxes yet, I recommend you do so. Go to underworldconnection.com. The link is in the description. And sign up for the monthly subscription boxes. Or you can place a one-time order and it will be jolly good fun. And now I think I am going to sit and chill with my coffee and watch some Judge Judy because I'm still in the process of decompressing. Because that was a lot. That was a lot for today. So thanks for hanging out today. And don't forget to watch out for the sheep as always. And vlog phrase of the day is Judge Judy rules. Doyle rules. All right, thanks for hanging out. I will see you next time. I love you. I appreciate you. Okay, bye.